Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today we honor our Black Business Month by doing a series, part one of a three-part series on Black business survival tips. Plus, if you watch to the end of today's episode, I'm going to give you access and a sneak peek to my free online marketing affiliate system that you guys can actually use to start making some money online today. So go ahead, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen, because y'all know what we do. We like to kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, Ultimate Hustlers, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from myperfectmoneyplan.com. But I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that if you have not already looked at our mastermind, we've got every month we get together with our mastermind community and we teach a principle that is essential to making money, especially those of you who are trying to make money online. If you go to monetizemylifeacademy.com, you can actually sign up for $1. That gets you rights to our group. And you can participate in our live training this Sunday night, where we're going to be teaching on lead generation. So check that out, monetizemylifeacademy.com. We're talking about Black business survival. Listen, do me a favor, man. Comment in the chat. What is one thing that you would like to see Black businesses do just a little bit better? This is not a bad session. This is how do we help our brothers and sisters who are entrepreneurs become better so that we shop with them, spend with them, not because of obligation, but because of their quality of service is that good, their products are that good. So a couple quick announcements. It is Friday, and I always want to encourage you guys every single Friday, make sure that you pay yourself first. There's a lot going on, and I promise you, if you start going through your bills and paying your bills, you won't have anything left over. The average American family is living paycheck to paycheck, right? And those that do have anything left over, usually it's just $50 left over. Ladies and gentlemen, start figuring out, if I pay myself first, I take some money and I put it in my 401k, I put it in my IRA, I put it in my brokerage account so I can buy a piece of stock later or whatever it is. Do that first. I promise you, you'll figure everything else out beyond that, right? So if you do that, you'll be good to go. Um, Before we get into Black Biz survival tips for today, this is part one of a three-part series. So for today and the next 2 Fridays in this month, we're going to be talking about these survival tips. And really, they're small business survival tips that anyone can use. But I definitely want to make sure that we are honoring Black Business Month. I got a little gnat in here, man, and it's working my nerves. I want to make sure that we are honoring Black Business Month. So we'll be talking a lot about things that we can do better in the Black community and the Black business community to make our businesses better. Today's quote of the day: to be successful, all it takes is all you got. I want you to get that. To be successful, all it takes is all you got. And the problem that we have is sometimes we like to try to figure out and count the cost, because we're basing our level of commitment based on what we think is going to require, right? I have a business where I have a financial education franchise, and I bring people into the franchise and I start educating them on what we do, how we do it, how to build a brand on, and they want to know, Cortez, what's it really going to take? Well, if you want to be successful, it's going to take all you got. Period. What that means is it takes a full-on commitment. You've got to be all in to win, right? That's what it's going to take, right? And that doesn't mean you have to work this thing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but you have to be wholeheartedly committed to anything that you're going to do if you're going to be successful. If not, you want to basically be, marginally successful at best, and you have to be comfortable and content with that. So that is quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by MonetizeMyLifeAcademy.com. That is our digital marketing mastermind. For those of you who are building businesses online, you're trying to figure out this whole online space, this whole social media space, this whole branding, marketing space, this whole lead generation space. That's what we're going to be focused on this month's mastermind, which happens on the 15th of every month, which is this coming Sunday. You can actually go to MonetizeMyLifeAcademy.com, register for $1. You'll get in a group. You'll get a special invitation to join us Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. We usually go for an hour, maybe 90 minutes. And we're going to be talking about lead generation. How do you generate more leads for your business? And if you like the academy and the courses and the training, then you can stay in the community for $50 per month. So we're talking Black Biz survival tips. How can our businesses survive? How can they grow? How can they thrive? And more importantly, y'all, how can they scale to become conglomerates, institutions that last for decades, right? This is where we got to start thinking as entrepreneurs, as business owners, right? Nobody despises humble beginnings. At least I don't. But I'm trying to build, my ultimate goal is to build an institution that's what we've seen the government do the last 15, 20 years or so. Some of these institutions become what they call too big to fail, right? So that means the institution has woven itself so tightly into the fabric of this country that the government itself will make sure that that institution lives on. How do we do that? And that's what we're talking about today. So keep those comments coming. If you have a suggestion on some things that Black business owners can do to better serve our community, to be stronger in the area, then I want to hear your comments as well. So we all know that it's not easy to run a business, point blank, period. We know that, right? But it's worth it, right? Running a small business isn't easy, even during the best of times, right? And we know that these last, depending on what side of the coin you're looking from, these last 18 months haven't been the best of times for a lot of entrepreneurs, right? Especially Black-owned businesses. However, according to the United States Small Business Association, 30% of small businesses fail within 2 years. Now, we don't bring these stats up to scare you away from entrepreneurship, right? To scare you if you just recently started a business. No, what these numbers mean to me is that I got to make sure that I'm not doing what those 30% are doing, right? 50% fail within 5 years, right? Is that to scare me? No, that is to let me know that after I make it past 2 years of not doing what the 30% do, then another 20% are going to start doing something that causes them to fail within 5 years. I got to make sure I don't do those things. And only 25% of businesses last 15 years or longer. Any small business owner will tell you that running a small business is challenging. When circumstances get tough, running a business becomes an even greater challenge. Throughout the years, many events have occurred that placed a squeeze on businesses, right? The Great Depression, World War I and World War II, the Cold War, the 2008 housing market collapse, and 2020 coronavirus pandemic, right? Seen a lot of our businesses go out of business. Why is that, right? Why is that? Let's look at some of these things, right? During these difficult times, many small businesses folded under the pressure. They simply weren't able to keep going, but many businesses have survived these incredible challenges. Some of them have even thrived, right? The point is that your business can make it through hard times. You'll need to get creative. This is one of my favorite things that I want to point out to my small business owners, to my Black business community, is creativity has got to be at an all-time high during a time such as this. You'll have to take decisive action. Man, oh man. Sometimes we sit back and we just think on a thing. We think on the thing. We think on the thing. And before we finish thinking on that thing to make a decision, the window in which we could have had an explosive amount of success has closed, right? And you'll need to make tough decisions, but you can do it. Listen, number one thing that you need to understand as a small business owner, especially our Black-owned businesses, you got to manage your mindset. That's first and foremost. We know that entrepreneurship isn't a duty. Entrepreneurship isn't a job. Entrepreneurship is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, y'all. I was sitting back watching Kevin Hart on Peacock last night. He does his show called Heart to Heart. And because I'm building a media empire that will one day rival or surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney, I look at media different. So as much as I'm trying to enjoy the interview that he did with Taraji P. Henson, because I love to hear people's stories, how they overcome, right? That's important, right? That's part of me managing my mindset. I'm also looking at set design. I'm also looking at simplicity. I'm also looking at the different camera angles. He's probably got 2 or 3 cameras working at the same time. I'm like, man, I can do a local talk show just like that if I have the right setup and I have the right production team. So managing your mindset, right, is critically important. If your business is struggling, it's absolutely essential to manage your mindset. When things get tough, it's really easy to enter a downward mental spiral. As you work to stabilize and turn your business around, it's important to maintain a positive mental attitude. It's critically important, guys. You're not being naive. You're not being overly optimistic. But Steve Harvey said one time about going through tough times in general, not just in business, but in general. He said, why would I feel any other way other than positive when I got 100% success rate. I'm batting 1,000 for getting through tough times. I want y'all to write that down. Batting 1,000. Put that in the comments for me. What does he mean, batting 1,000? Listen, whatever age you are in, you had gone through some tough times in your life and you didn't know how you were going to make it. You didn't know if you could make it at all. But you're here today. So that means you got 100% success rate of getting through tough times. So if you're in the middle of a tough time right now, all you got to do is look back at some of the tough times that you already came through, that you swore up and down, there's no way I can get through this. And yet you did, and yet you're still standing. So having a positive mindset is critically important for our small businesses, our Black-owned business, in the middle of a global pandemic. They're talking about a potential shutdown yet again. If I got my mind on right, I'm paying attention, and there's no way I should be entering this shutdown, if it does happen, the same way that I entered the last shutdown unprepared. There's no way. I should be looking at the signs, the writing on the wall. This shutdown could cause another 40% of businesses to go out of business. How do I make sure that's not me? Almost every great business leader has endured struggles similar to yours. They are successful because they persevered and were relentless. If you want your business to succeed, you need mental toughness. If you guys have not seen my two-part series on the 18 ways to develop mental toughness, make sure you go to thecortezhustleshow.com, type in mental toughness, and those two will come up, right? Powerful stuff on developing mental toughness. Follow these steps to overcome a negative mindset. Number one, pay attention. Just talking about that. You need to be able to identify unhelpful mental patterns as they occur. Pay attention. Number two, question. As negative thoughts arise, question them. Is what you're thinking really true? Is what you're thinking really true? Some of us will, if we don't check a negative thought, we'll go down this rabbit hole, and it can get ugly, y'all. If you allow your imagination to become perverted to the fact or to the point where you start thinking, man, what if that shutdown does happen? Man, what if I do have to close my doors? Man, if I have to close my doors, then the people that are counting on me, I might have to fire some people now. They don't get a paycheck. Now, if I have to close my door, I don't make money. Then if I don't make the money, then I'm going to fall behind on my mortgage. Now they're going to take my building and they're going to take my home. And you start going down this negative spiral, this negative rabbit hole. Ask yourself, is it true? Right? Negative thoughts that you're having. Silence. Avoid allowing the same thoughts. Avoid allowing the same thoughts to keep stealing your mental energy. Right? So shut those thoughts down. Silence them. Replace. As you shut down your inner critic, fill the silence with positive, helpful dialogue. When you shut down that thought, you have to replace that thought, right? The Bible uses tells a good parable about a man who was struggling with a mental demon. And he got the demon exorcised, and the demon was kicked out of his mind, and that space was left void and empty. So when the demon reappeared and saw that that space was empty and that it was nice, neat, and clean, not only did that demon come back, it brought 7 other spirits with them. So when you kill that thought, make sure you replace it with something positive. As you push through your problems and challenges, remember why you got into business in the first place. Man, that why is important. WHY, right? Why did you get into business? What hurt you so bad that made you want to get into business and do whatever it is that you're doing? What helps you, right, in business? What haunts you, right? WHY. What hurts you? What helps you? What haunts you? What heals you? WHY. You've got to have a why, an internal fire that burns, that rages so strong that when you see these obstacles, it becomes nothing, right? Clarifying the problem is number two. So you know you got to have and manage your mindset, right? And it's okay to go through a struggle, but sometimes our struggles are we take a molehill and we turn it into a mountain because we don't know how to clarify the problem in the first place. Before you can identify a solution, first clarify the challenge. Take some time to think about how you got to where you are currently. Some things are just flat out of our control. And we spend a lot of time focusing on those things like a pandemic, like whether or not the country is going to shut down and go back into quarantine for another few months. That's out of your control. And we can spend hours of our time worrying about that instead of spending those same hours on the things that we can control to mitigate any losses that might come from a national quarantine again, right? What happened that you didn't anticipate? Some common problems businesses face are market changes. You can't do nothing about that. Failure to understand the target customer or the market, right? This is so critical for our Black-owned businesses to get this part right. They got to understand the market changes. We were not prepared to pivot when the pandemic hit. Most of us were not prepared to pivot when the pandemic hit. Now, for me, my business is an online business. So it was nothing. I was already operating in a system that was perfect for a pandemic, right? Most of my presentations are done via webinar, right? Via Zoom meeting. So I was already there, right? Most of my business is conducted and my marketing and my advertising is through social media platforms. Guess what? For me, when the pandemic first happened and we got quarantined, more people were consuming my stuff because they were all set at home and they had nothing to do but get on their devices and try to figure out how to make money from home. But a lot of our Black-owned businesses found themselves trying to get online in 2020 because their brick and mortar stores were shut down. Let me tell you guys this, and then we're going to get into 1 minute motivation real quick. Let me tell you guys this, though. No matter what product or service you sell, if you don't wrap your mind around this truth, you're going to struggle in business forever. You are, in 2021, a media company and a tech company that sells whatever you sell. I hope y'all really get that. If you are a barber, you sell haircuts. But as a company, you are a media company and a tech company, right? That sells haircuts and grooming services, right? Look at all the barbers who were already using booking apps before the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit and they had to close their doors, you could no longer come and sit in the shop and chop it up and talk trash all day and wait for your turn to get on a haircut. You had to be organized. You had to be systematic. You were only allowed to have a couple people in the shop at a time. Those who are already using booking apps, there's no problem because they'd already embraced tech. Those who already had their social media popping, they were able to communicate with their client base and say, "Oh, can't come to the shop. In order for you to get your haircut, I need you to go and book through the booking app." They use technology to be able to help transition and make the pivot happen. A lot of Black-owned restaurants scrambling to get a delivery service up, scrambling to get a social media page up, scrambling to get a website up where they can take orders online. It's 2020, 2021. You mean to tell me you really didn't have any of those things in place? That's why the Cortez Hustle Show is a podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. I want to bring y'all into the 21st century. Really quickly, though, now it's time for 1 minute motivation. 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show is where I play a short motivational video, usually 1 minute, maybe 90 seconds. And I want you to comment your takeaway. I'm going to give you one of my takeaways, and then we're going to continue on with Black Business Survival Tips Part 1. So let's go ahead and get into 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
You're still here, and you get another chance this day to do better and be better. Another chance to become more of who you were created and what you were created to fulfill.
Everyone in the world is capable of living outside the role or beyond the roles that they place themselves in, no matter what it is. You're not just a dad. You're not just a banker. You're not just a brother or a son or a convict. It doesn't matter. Like, everyone is bigger, much bigger, infinitely bigger than the roles they place themselves in, and is capable of reaching potential greater than anything they could imagine.
You can live the life you desire. It's right there in front of you. But in order to achieve it, you must first see it, then believe it, and then you must graciously ask and train your brain to help you execute your vision.
Hoo-wee! What did you guys hear? What did you guys hear? Man, I love 1 minute motivation because we all listen to the same clip. But based on what we are in our lives, we all heard something different. If you're here today and listening to the sound of my voice, that means you got another shot. You got another shot. One of the things that I do every day, and I got this from Lisa Nichols, she said, I do 3 things every day. I use the power of I am, I forgive myself, and I declare what I'm committed to. I do this every day. Cortez, I am madly, helplessly, and hopelessly in love with you, brother. The things that you fell short at yesterday, the things that you said you were going to get accomplished and you didn't, the people that you were going to reach out to and contact and get in touch with and you didn't, the sales goals that you had for yesterday and you didn't hit them, I forgive you. I forgive you. Right? Today is a new day. I got another shot. Right? And put in the comments, become more. Become more. The great Jim Rohn says, how do you make an above average income? By becoming an above average person. And every one of us, no matter where we are, how much work we've been doing on ourselves, we can all become more. And that is the beginning stages of having more, because before you can become more, before you can have more, you got to do more. But you can't do more until you become more. If you want a different output, it starts with a different input, right? You are bigger than your label. You're bigger than your label. visualizing, seeing it, believing that which you've seen, and then training your brain to go get it. All things are possible for they that believe. See, it's not possible for you who's got a husband that believes. It's not possible for you who've got a circle of friends that believe. None of those folks are required to believe. There's only one person required to believe that I'm going to build a multi-billion-dollar media company. There's only one person required to believe that to make it happen. And that's me. Sometimes we're waiting for other people to believe in us. We're waiting for other people to get on board with our vision. No, man, it don't work like that. In fact, usually people will never attach themselves into your vision until they see you running full steam ahead to make that vision become a reality. That, ladies and gentlemen, is 1 minute motivation, right? Glenda says, I can do this, must visualize what I want and believe in it. Absolutely. That's 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by My Perfect Money Plan. If you are trying to grow wealth for your family and you have not taken a look at the Generational Wealth Masterclass, you are sleeping on your ability to get double-digit returns on your money so that your money is doubling every 4 to 5 years. Think about it. If you have the ability to have whatever's in your retirement portfolio right now, it's 2021. If that your whole portfolio doubled by 2026, where would you be? Be a lot closer to. Some of you guys don't even know how long it's taking your money to double in your retirement portfolio because you never learned the rule of 72. We go over all of that stuff at myperfectmoneyplan.com. So go there, check it out. I'll put a link in the comments and the show notes for you guys to check that out. So we're talking Black business survival tips, right? For those of you who will stick around to the end of the episode today, and you want to make some money online, I'm going to share with you how you can get access to a free affiliate marketing system that you can use to start making some money online. So we're talking about these clarifying your problem, right? Sometimes we're just throwing stuff at the wall. Sometimes we're just making adjustments in our business and we haven't even gotten clear on what the problem is, right? Is the problem because related to market changes? Is the problem a failure for you to understand your target market? Is the problem a poor pricing strategy? Let me talk about this pricing real quick while we're here, because this is a lot of our problem, right? Especially those of us who are having service-based businesses. A, we do not target the right people. And B, we usually underprice our services. Guys, that's the fastest way to burnout in any business. If I have to jump through a million hoops to close a sale and make a few dollars, and I have to do all of this work, and I'm giving $1,000 worth of value to every customer, and I'm only charging $100 to that customer, that's the fastest way to burnout. What does that mean? That usually means you put your product or your service in front of the wrong person to begin with. That's usually what it means. What's going on, Blueprint Rod? Usually what it means is if you're giving away so much value for a little price, that means you're putting your product or service in front of the wrong people to begin with. And believe it or not, y'all, the more you charge for your service, the better quality client you attract. That's a little nugget that ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. People who tend to pay small fees for services somehow feel they've earned the right to demand the most from you. It's true. And some of y'all are culprits. Some of y'all will go to a service provider and you've seen the premium service, you've seen the mid-tier service, but you only want to invest in the low ticket item. You buy the low ticket item and you try to demand that the people selling the low ticket item give you the things that you saw in the premium. Ain't how it works. If you wanted premium, you should have went and bought premium. Right? So targeting and pricing is important for any business to grow and sustain and to keep you from burnout. It keeps you from bad business relationships, because when people don't pay you enough for your service, it's not their fault, it's your fault for accepting their money and promising so much for so little. Now you're frustrated and you're mad at them because they're asking for all that you promised to deliver, right? Insufficient funds. Again, that could come from your pricing structure and strategy. Too much growth, good problem to have, but it could ruin a business if you grow too fast, right? If you want your business to thrive during challenging times, you must be able to put your finger on the primary challenges. If you're feeling sick and go to the doctor, what's the first thing the doctor tries to do? They try to determine what's causing the illness. You've got a problem in your business right now. You got to try to determine what's causing, get to the root cause of the problem. Most businesses are having challenges because they have not clearly defined what it is that they really do, what they really deliver. And because they haven't defined that, they're trying to deliver everything. Secondly, because they haven't defined what it is they really deliver, they haven't defined their target audience. So they don't even know who they should be best serving with their number one product or service. And because they don't know who they should be best serving, then they have a lead generation problem. It's like me going into a vegan group on Facebook talking about my premium grass-fed beef. I'm in a vegan community talking about premium grass-fed beef because I don't know who my audience is, and I'm trying to sell to everybody. If you're marketing and selling to everybody, you're marketing and selling to nobody, because everybody doesn't speak the same language. So we have that challenge as Black entrepreneurs from a marketing perspective. We haven't truly identified those things. We say things like, hey man, I'm selling food. Everybody needs to eat. Yeah, but what kind of food are you selling? Because everybody don't eat every kind of food, right? Focus on your customers. It's the third thing that you need to do. What is the heart of every business, including yours? Customers. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business. When deciding what actions to take to strengthen your business, always keep your customers front and center. A lot of times, y'all, we're doing stuff for ourselves as the business owner. And we might not be our own customer avatar. So why are we doing things that satisfy us and not doing things that will satisfy our customer? Before making changes, consider how they will affect your customer's experience. It's all about the customer experience. If your customer experience is one of your key competitive advantages, be especially careful about changes. If you do make changes that will directly affect the customer, communicate those clearly. Explain to the customer why you have made the changes and the outcomes you expect to have. Right? But again, a lot of our Black businesses don't understand the power of leveraging technology. See, when the pandemic happened, excuse me, the pandemic happened to a lot of our businesses. They didn't have an email newsletter that they could send out to all of their customers to say, hey, we no longer dine in, but you can actually place an order and deliver or come and pick it up. So they lost a lot of revenue because their customer base assumed that they were completely out of business, that they were completely shut down. They didn't have a Facebook business page where they could post regularly and their fans are tuning into their page regularly. They didn't have a YouTube channel where they could say talk directly to their customers. Could have put out a YouTube video and said, hey, listen, our heart goes out to all of those who are suffering from this challenging time. We know that a lot of businesses are being closed down. We are no longer allowing people to come and dine in. However, we have created a safe protocol that allows you to place your order and come pick it up, touchless or whatever it is. And we want to thank everybody for your continued support. And if you fight with us through these troubled times, in fact, we are going to offer a 10% discount for everybody who orders on. They didn't have any of those mechanisms in place to communicate with their customers. So a lot of them just fizzled and faded out. During times of global crisis, it's especially important to keep the focus on the customers. People will remember the actions you take. If you seek to serve your customers, even at the expense of profits, you'll build up a huge amount of goodwill. This is something that we also got to learn as Black people, man. A lot of times we don't understand building up goodwill. A lot of times we don't understand the law of reciprocity. A lot of times we don't understand how to serve for free and get our rewards on the back end. We saw a lot of companies doing it, though. The first thing that comes to our mind is we can't afford it. I can't afford to give away free food, Cortez. I can't afford to give away discounts. That goes back to the pricing. Why? Because your margins are razor thin. That goes back to marketing and strategy. Your margins are razor thin because you're trying to compete. You're a single restaurant, for instance, and you're trying to compete on price, selling wings against Wingstop, who has tens of thousands of locations all over the country. Of course, they get their wings cheaper because they're buying more. You can't compete with them on price. So you've got to figure out how to create something else to justify your higher price. Is it your ambiance? Is it your experience? Is it your flavor? Is it what else can you do to add value to what you're offering so you don't have to compete on price? Do you have something that's exclusive? Right? Conduct a SWOT analysis. I got to give a huge shout to my coach, Henry Dars. I had no idea what a SWOT analysis was, right? But these are things that if you want to get to the heart of creating change in your business, what is a SWOT analysis? If you want to succeed as a small business owner, you must be willing to honestly evaluate how things are going. A SWOT analysis stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. As a business owner, do you know what your strengths are? Do you know what your weaknesses are? Do you know have you identified opportunities for growth and improvement? Do you know what your threats are? I'm telling y'all, the country could shut back down. Is that a perceived threat for you? Could happen, right? This SWOT analysis provides you with a framework for analyzing your business. Strengths. These are the things that you have control over and are working well in your business, right? Focus on and try to develop these areas further. Weaknesses. These are the things that aren't working well in your business. Your goal is to change or eliminate these things so that they don't continue to damage your business. Opportunities. These are external factors that have the potential to benefit your business. The more you can capitalize on these opportunities, the more successful you'll have or you'll be. Threats. These are external factors that could possibly hurt your business. Avoid these things or adapt to them. And they could also be internal as well. Performing a SWOT analysis is hard work, but this clear-headed analysis will help you overcome your weaknesses, capitalize on your strengths, and take advantages of unique opportunities, right? It's critically important. Create objectives and a plan. Once you've done your SWOT analysis, determine the objectives you'll pursue and create a plan to achieve those objectives, right? If you are in business today as a Black business owner and you do not have a lead generation system, you do not have a communication strategy, you do not have a content marketing strategy, these are maybe some objectives that you want to put down. You don't want another shutdown to happen and you still don't, you survive the first shutdown and you don't want to go into another and not be prepared, right? Are you prepared? What are your objectives, right? Start with your strengths. How will you double down on the things that you're doing well? Then look at your weaknesses. How can you change, minimize, or eliminate those areas? Then you move on to opportunities. Is there a new market you can move into? Can you implement a new technology that will help you be more efficient? I'm telling you, every business today is a media company and a tech company that sells whatever you sell. You got to get that. If you are not bringing automation into your business, if you're not looking at how artificial intelligence is going to affect your industry and you slow to the game, getting with AI, getting with technology, mobile apps, and all of this kind of stuff, oh man, you could potentially lose your shirt, right? Finish with threats. How will you avoid or adapt to those things that could hurt your business? What's a potential threat to your business? Remember to create both objectives and a plan for how you will meet those objectives. Your objectives need to be measurable. You must be able to determine whether you're hitting your objectives. Achievable, they got to be realistic. And then they got to be timely. Set a specific time and date which you'll meet your objectives, right? Yeah, Glenda, so many people are not using their technology. So real quick, I wanted to hit some of you guys' comments who said, so we'll pick up next Friday with reducing costs and some other things, managing your cash flow. But this is a 3-part series on how to be better in business. But some of you guys did make a comment on what you would like to see Black businesses do a little bit better. So let's see. Glenda says, collaborate with other Black businesses and community. That is a huge one, Glenda. And they got to figure that out, especially, for instance, the Black-owned restaurants, right? You want to be able to compete on prices with some of the national chains, but as a single solo restaurant, it's hard because you can't get your products wholesale at the same prices. But if you came together with 10 other restaurants in your area, chances are you guys can come together and create some sort of co-op and get better pricing, right? And I know there's some regulations around some of that stuff, because what most of us don't know is that the regulation says that you can't do that, right? But there's ways around that. Maybe you guys need to form a joint venture so that when you buy the products through the joint venture, it's distributed amongst all of the restaurants in the joint. I don't know, but you got to figure that out, right? Glenn says, be more competitive with prices. Yes. And competitive, Glenda, doesn't always mean lowering the prices, right? When I say be more competitive with prices, I'm saying, how do you increase the value for the price? So I know that if I go to a Black-owned restaurant and order a wing dinner, they can't compete with Wingstop and be profitable at the same time. However, maybe they can give me more fries. Maybe they can throw in a drink for free. Maybe they can create a rewards program so that even though I'm paying a few extra dollars, maybe their environment is so rich because they're playing my kind of music, or I don't know, but can they increase the value if they can't decrease the price, right? She says same things, partner more together in the communities, show up together as a conglomerate. That's super, super huge. One of the things that post-traumatic slave syndrome has caused in us as business owners is we don't even want to be in business near another Black-owned business, and we don't realize that we shop based on convenience. We don't realize what made the success of a Black Wall Street and some of these other communities that are doing well is the fact that they create business districts. We want to say, hey, there's some other Black-owned business over there. I don't want to be over there near them. There's a chicken joint there. There's a seafood joint over there, and there's a soul food joint in the middle. And I'm about to do a vegan joint, so I don't want to be next to those other restaurants. You guys realize how you can go to a certain place and you'll see a McDonald's, you'll see a Burger King, you'll see a Wendy's, you'll see a Five Guys, all within a 2 or 3 block radius? Why? Because they done figured it out. If people want McDonald's in this area, there are another set of people who don't want McDonald's, but they like burgers. Maybe they want a flame broiled burger instead of a grilled burger. Maybe they want a restaurant style burger like a Five Guys versus one of those little small patties. We don't understand that we shop from convenience. I don't want to have to go from one side of town to get my dry cleaners, then go to the opposite side of town to get my haircut, and then go south to find a grocery store or a farmer's market. You got to understand how to create business districts so we all can win, right? So we all can win. All right, respect people time. If you set a time, be on time. Man, yes. And whoever that is in the Facebook group, I can't see your name, but I appreciate that. Yes, respect people's time, right? If I set an appointment and you gave me the option to set an appointment, the reason I chose this particular time for my appointment is because I got some other ish to do. So I need to get in at my appointed time so I can get out and go finish everything else. Right? That is super, super dope. So we're going to talk about a lot of those things and other things, guys. If you have not already hit the share button, please hit the share button. How many of you guys want to see a system? Anybody interested in making money online? Because I don't want to show you the system if you guys not even interested in it. But I have a system. I'm big on what's called affiliate marketing. And one of the services that I sell is the Digital Empire System. That is a website sales platform. That is a social media. That is a sales funnel creating platform. And this is where all of my business is done. My websites, my social medias, my books, and all that stuff is sold from this one platform. And it's an affiliate program. So I found someone who actually built a system around this platform that allows you to market the platform, and you can get this system for free, right? Super, super dope. So for those of you who are looking at internet marketing or making some money online through systems, through machines, this thing is flat out amazing. So I thought I'd give you guys access to it. All you have to do is go to workwithcortez.online. Workwithcortez.online. I'll put that in the comments. online. Boom. All right. So let me see. Glenn says, I collaborated with Papa John when I owned my arcade business. Yes, they passed out my flyers and gave discounts. We referred our clients to purchase their pizza for parties, held a held that game room. I mean, that's how you absolutely must do it. Period. You gotta create strategic partnerships and relationships, right? So if you're going to work with Cortez online, you're going to be able to put in your email address and literally go through the process of getting this sales machine, guys. This thing is flat out dope. It's a system. I mean, you got to be a little bit of tech savvy to do internet marketing. As much as people say is newbie friendly, I'll be honest, guys. If you are not that computer savvy, you could find yourself getting frustrated. There are some easier ways that you can make money online. But if you got a little tech skills and you can set up an account in a system like this, I think it'll do you good to have something that you can promote on your timeline and actually make money from it. We're all on these social media platforms all the time. And a lot of times we're promoting things for other people that are not tied to a revenue stream for ourselves. Well, guess what? That changes if you go to work with Cortez.online. You get the system for free. There's a couple upsells in the system which will help you make money a lot faster. So you can choose to grab those upsells. One is $17, the other one is like $27. But nevertheless, you can actually have the system for free and actually promote the system, and you can start making money from it. You just make more money with a couple of the upsells. So I appreciate you guys. We got a stacked lineup for you guys next week. We have Hillary Seiler coming on Monday. She is the founder of Financial Footwork. So on our Multiply Money Mondays, she's going to be talking about your relationships and money, right? It's going to be super dope. You guys don't want to miss that. Make sure that you subscribe to the feed. If you are checking us out on Facebook, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe to the feed as a podcast listener and give us a review, whether you listen on Apple, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you're listening. Give us a review. Let us know how we're doing. And if it's something that we can do better, I am open to constructive criticism, even destructive criticism, right? If I'm not doing something right, I want to do it better. So make sure that you guys like, follow, and stay in touch, man, because we got a whole slew of amazing entrepreneurs lined up for you guys to come teach you their skills, what they've done, help you alleviate and overcome some of the mistakes that they made. So keep it locked right here, man. Until I talk to you next time, get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up.